Dan and the Magical Quest for Clean Hands. A special bedtime story for Dan. Once upon a time, in a small town, lived a curious and adventurous little boy named Dan. Dan had a wild imagination and loved going on exciting adventures. One sunny morning, while playing in his backyard, Dan discovered a shimmering, golden feather. Little did he know that this feather would take him on a magical journey to a place beyond his wildest dreams. As soon as Dan touched the feather, he found himself transported to a magical place called the Enchanted Forest. It was a place filled with talking animals, sparkling rivers, and colorful flowers that sang when the wind blew. Dan was amazed by everything he saw. In the Enchanted Forest, Dan met a mischievous dwarf named Winky. Winky had a long, white beard and a twinkle in his eye. He loved magic and was always up to some sort of trickery. But Winky had a problem. He couldn't perform magic unless his hands were sparkling clean. His favorite dessert, bark dessert, made his hands sticky, which made it impossible for him to do magic. Dan and Winky quickly became friends. They decided to embark on a quest to find a special soap that could keep Winky's hands clean even after eating bark dessert. Their journey took them through dark caves, over tall mountains, and across vast oceans. Along the way, they encountered friendly creatures like talking trees and singing birds who helped them on their quest. As they traveled, Dan noticed something interesting. Every time they came across a pond or a stream, Winky would wash his hands with water from the magical streams of the Enchanted Forest. And every time he did, his hands would become perfectly clean, ready for magic. Dan asked Winky why he didn't use soap like everyone else. Winky explained that the magical streams had special powers that could cleanse not just the body but also the soul. It was a reminder to always keep oneself pure and honest, just like the sparkling water. This made Dan realize something important. Washing hands wasn't just about getting rid of dirt and germs, it was also about keeping oneself pure and honest. He understood why his parents always insisted on him washing his hands before meals. It was a way of showing respect for his body and keeping it healthy. With this newfound knowledge, Dan and Winky continued their quest. Finally, after days of searching, they found the special soap made from the flower petals of the honesty plant. This soap had magical properties, just like the streams of the Enchanted Forest. Winky was overjoyed, and with his hands clean, he performed the most amazing magic tricks. Dan bid farewell to Winky in the Enchanted Forest, promising to visit again someday. As he held the golden feather, he was transported back to his backyard. He couldn't wait to tell his parents about his magical adventure and what he had learned about the importance of washing hands. From that day on, Dan never forgot to wash his hands before meals. He understood that clean hands were not just a way to prevent sickness, but also a way to show respect for his body and keep himself pure and honest, just like the magical streams of the Enchanted Forest. And so, Dan's magical quest for clean hands taught him an important lesson about hygiene and honesty. It also showed him that even the smallest actions, like washing hands, could have a big impact on our lives. And as Dan drifted off to sleep, he couldn't help but smile, knowing that he had embarked on a grand adventure and learned something valuable along the way. Good night, Dan. Sleep tight, and may your dreams always be filled with magic and wisdom. The end.